what it really takes for you to have success is it takes action. And sitting around and looking at motivational things or listening to motivational things doesn't get it done. Does it help? Sure, some people. But at the end of the day, it doesn't help if you're not actually taking action on it. And that is why momentum is so powerful.
It's Evie here. Welcome to EML Radio, where we are always talking truth. All of those things you need to hear that nobody else is willing to say.
Hello, guys. Welcome back to EML Radio. Today we're going to talk about the power of momentum, of life momentum. So you hear me say it all the time that I think motivation is complete and utter bullshit. And that isn't because I don't think that we all need to be motivated and that we need to hear some motivational things to help charge us up. But the reason I think that motivation is bullshit is because motivation is all about listening to things and to seeing things, where what it really takes for you to have success is it takes action. And sitting around and looking at motivational things or listening to motivational things doesn't get it done. Does it help? Sure, some people. But at the end of the day, it doesn't help if you're not actually taking action on it. And that is why momentum is so powerful. So let me give you this analogy. I'm a Montana girl, born and raised, so this visual really kind of helps me understand what momentum really looks like. So picture this. Your car is stuck in either 3 inches of mud or 12 inches of snow. In Montana, I experienced both. Right? So picture that car stuck, right? Sitting there, no matter how much you push on the gas, it's like, nothing's moving. So what do you do to get that car unstuck? Do you sit there and learn about how to get it unstuck? Well, maybe you don't know how to unstick a vehicle. So you've got to do a little bit of learning. But is sitting there learning about how to move your car gonna move it? No. Is having your friend come stand next to you and talk to you about moving the car gonna do it? No. What is going to eventually get that car unstuck? It starts by creating a small amount of movement or momentum, right? So you can just picture that. If you stand there and look at your car, it's not going to move. But what do you got to do? You've got to get behind it. You've got to start pushing. That push is taking action. So forward momentum doesn't happen without taking action first. And then what happens? You get that car moving back and forth at first, just a little bit, right? Then you really start to apply some gas, keep pushing, right? The movement becomes bigger and bigger and bigger until finally what happens? Boom! You're out of the dirt or you're out of the snow. Keep that in mind in your own life. I don't care whether it is your physical fitness, your overall health, if it's your finances, if it's your relationships, your parenting relationship with your kids, a work relationship, your career, it doesn't matter. in every single one of those areas, motivation isn't enough. In every single one of those areas, the only way for you to actually make things happen is by taking action. So this is how momentum gets created. Okay? It comes down to two things. It comes down to your decisions and your actions. That's it. It's that simple. So when I say it comes down to your decisions, this is what I mean. You're laying on the couch and you have a decision to either go for a walk or watch the next episode of whatever you're watching on Netflix. Okay? Or you get home from work and you're tired and you decide to sit down on the couch, or you decide to go for a walk. You've got two decisions there. That decision right there determines whether or not you start the process of creating momentum. You choose to sit on the couch and you choose to not take action. That's a choice. Or hopefully you choose to go take a walk and you create momentum by taking that small action. This is why I always am just pounding it into you guys that very small decisions add up to huge progress. I mean, huge progress over time. Because every time you make a decision to either take action or not take action, you are either going to help create momentum in your life or you're going to continue to stall out. I like to think about it this way too, with all these social media memes that are out there, which you guys know, man, they just drive me crazy. And I was looking, this is kind of a side story, but I was looking at my own social media account from a couple of years ago, and I used to put a saying or something kind of motivational over one of my pictures from working out. And it never quite felt right to me, but I always, like, I'm like everybody else. I'm like, maybe this is what you need to do in order to be successful in influencing people and, making yourself known on social media. Maybe I need to do these things that everybody else does. But it never really quite felt right to me. And the reason being is because people then will sit and look at those social media memes, but looking at shit doesn't get it done, right? And I didn't want to contribute to that. So I stopped doing that. But anyway, totally off on a side tangent, but really funny that, I used to even be guilty of kind of like wanting to give these little motivational quotes, and I stopped doing it. Now, do I think that reading something motivational or listening to something motivational is helpful? Absolutely. Okay? But here's what it's like. Let's go back to that car. Okay, so your car's stuck in the snow or it's stuck in the mud, and you have some kind of outside motivation, right? Your life is stuck in the mud, your fitness is stuck in the mud, you're overweight or you're broke or whatever you're dealing with, you're stuck. Is listening or looking at something motivational going to help you get unstuck? No, right? Like, that's just absurd. Same thing with motivational podcasts, right? I don't consider myself a motivational podcast, but I do consider myself an inspirational podcast, right? But even if you're listening to this podcast, that's all fine and great. But in that car analogy, what it is equivalent to is you putting on a headset and still just standing there looking at your car. You hear me go, "You got this," right? Or you hear other motivational speakers say, "You've got this." All the while you stand there, listen to it, get all pumped up, but don't push the car. Let's take it a step further. What about attending motivational events? I hold a retreat once a year. It's not a motivational event. It's a educational and a highly inspiring, where we help you find the inspiration inside you, We hold those events. Look, think about all the motivational, either business or personal development events that are out there, and really think about the literally hundreds of millions consumers spend on those, which is all great. But it only works if you actually take action. So back to our car analogy, going to some, Tony Robbins event, or even coming to my event for that matter, is the equivalent of us both getting together in the front seat of your car. We're like, we got this, right? We got this, we do. Now you're sitting right there physically in my presence, right? But sitting next to me and us both talking about how we're gonna get the car moving isn't gonna move your fucking car, right? So what does it take? How do you do this? Like, how do you get that car moving? How do you get your life moving? How do you stop wasting your day away on social media? How do you lose that 50, 80, 100 pounds? Right? How do you start having a bigger savings account? How do you finally get in a job that really is going to light up your soul? How do you have a better relationship with your significant other? How do you have a more open, understanding relationship with your kids? It takes traction. And as cheesy as this may sound, when I was writing some notes for this podcast, I wrote down the word traction, and instantly the word action popped into my head. I was like, oh shit, I'm going to coin that phrase. So action equals traction. The only way you get traction in your life or to move that fucking car is for you to take some kind of action. So here's what I'm going to leave you with today. I want you to have some actual tangible takeaways on, okay, I'm ready, Evie. I'm ready to make some changes, and I'm ready to create momentum, because momentum creates more momentum. Until, man, you're just like a snowball rolling down the hill, and you're just gaining momentum and speed the whole time until, wham, you get to the bottom, or in your case, you get to the top and you hit success that you're trying to achieve. So here's how you do it. First thing is you have got to apply something hard or something gritty. Think about how you get your car stuck out of the snow, right? It's slippery. Everything's just kind of soft and easy. Nothing will move on soft and easy. What does it take? It takes you putting some fucking gravel down, right? Put some gravel on top of that soft, squishy snow. So put some gravel or something gritty into your life. Something hard. Something that is going to allow you to have to really dig in and then create some movement from that. You don't create movement or momentum sitting in what's soft and easy. Or if you're stuck in the mud, gravel probably isn't going to work if it's sloppy mud, right? Then what you need to do is you need to put a 2x4 underneath there. You need something hard. You need something hard applied to get something that's too soft. So in your life, chances are you've just gotten really soft. We all have it pretty darn easy these days. Let's just get real. Even in the midst of all the bullshit COVID stuff we're dealing with right now, the fact of the matter is we all still live a pretty soft existence. That's part of our problem. We need to purposely input something hard or gritty into our life. I can do that for you. Something gritty is get into EML. Get into our Strong Start program that's coming up. That shit's gritty, right? It's going to cause you to have to apply something hard to your life so that you can help build momentum. Number 2, after you apply that hard object, think about your car. Okay, so now you've got that 2x4 underneath the tire, or you've put down some gravel. Who's going to push on the back of the car and who's going to push the pedal? Are you going to do both of those things? No, you're not. You need help. You need help. No matter what area of your life you're trying to improve on, you can't do it alone. You may be able to make small progress, but ultimately, none of us can do it all on our own. We have to have help. We have to have support. And that looks different in all different areas, right? If you're trying to improve your health, if you're trying to lose weight or get in better shape, you need help. You need a dedicated program. You need a coach. And you don't need someone that's your friend to go work out with you. That's not what I'm talking about. And just sit there and look at the car together and go, we got this, right? And then when your friend doesn't show up, you just sit there and stare at the car yourself and go, we got this, right? That's not what I mean by help and support. Help and support comes from something or someone that is going to get behind you and push while you are the one pushing on the pedal. Right? You've got to do the work. You have to have someone else there, or some kind of dedicated program or system or method to actually help you get as much momentum going as possible. And third, this one is so important. Right? You can put those first two in place, but number 3, if you stop at any time when you start to build that momentum, game over. Think back to that car. Someone's on the gas pedal, someone's behind you, you got the gravel on the road, right? You're pushing, you're starting to get some momentum, and then what happens if you stop? Do you stop and then keep the progress that you had pushed forward? No, maybe you got 2 inches out of your wheels. But when you stop, do you stay there? No. What happens? Your car rolls back right to where it started. Think about how many times you have done that in your own life. God, I've done it a million times in my professional life. I have done it a million times over in my personal life. I create all this momentum. I'm finally on board. I'm doing the right thing. I have the right support. I'm getting some momentum, and then one thing happens, right? And all of a sudden, I stop. I stop taking action, and what happens? I slide all the way back to where I started. God, any of you, all of you out there that have ever tried to lose weight or stop drinking or improve your health, right? You've experienced it. Man, you work so hard, and then the second you stop, you slide back to square one. And you're like, God, how did I get back here? You know how you get back there is because you stopped. You let off the gas. When you have momentum going in the right direction and you can feel that movement, you cannot stop. Because the second you stop, all the momentum stops. All the forward progress stops. So there you have it. Let's recap that. The 3 things you have to do is you have to have something hard and gritty to dig into. Number 2, you have to get support and help from others. And number 3, once you start feeling that forward momentum, you cannot stop. So here's the truth I'm going to leave you with today. Most of you listening are way too focused on getting motivated and are not focusing on creating momentum by taking action. You can listen or watch or learn as much as possible, and it is not going to cut it. At the end of the day, the only thing that is going to get you the results you want or get you to where you want to be anywhere in your life is by taking action. Action creates traction. You need traction in order to get forward momentum. Thanks for tuning in today, guys. As always, so happy to be here with you. So happy to help. And think about this podcast as you putting on that headset while you're taking action, right? So pop EML radio into your headset, right? But don't do it while you're just sitting on your couch. Like, thanks for listening. But ultimately, I want you to pop in EML radio, put in your headset while you're taking action. That's the shit that's going to get it done. We'll see you soon. Thanks for listening.